Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. We're here once again for another day of the horror movie scratch offs. And today we're talking about a film from 2022, and that is Influencer. Now you can catch this film on Shudder. And guys, I gotta say, this is one that I had heard some things about. So when this popped up in the scratch offs, I was like, okay, this is great. This gives me a reason to go ahead and watch this film. Now, what do I have to say about the film? That's the major question, right? For one thing, I wouldn't really consider it a horror film. That's right off the bat. I'm not saying it's a bad film, but I'm saying I would not really consider it a straight up horror film. Maybe a little bit of revenge, and that even that's kind of pushing it. It's more of a story of somebody who's going around stealing the identities and lives of these influencers. That's basically what this film is. And right at the beginning of the film, you meet this character by the name of Madison. She is an influencer, and she's posting things on like Instagram and everything like that. And before you know it, she's waiting at this villa basically in Thailand, and she's waiting for her boyfriend to arrive. Of course, he kind of like stands her up and does not show up. And we come to meet this boyfriend a little bit later on in the film, but she's befriended at a bar by this girl known as, her name is CW. Not much is known about this girl. They don't really go into too much explanation of this girl's life. All we know is that she is now befriending Madison, saying, "Hey, you know what? Don't worry about your boyfriend. I'll take you around, and I'll show you this, the sights and sounds." And she does just that. Of course, this happens over the course of a few days. Well, one night when they're out at a bar, Madison's passport, everything goes missing. Her room gets broken into, everything goes missing. Now, CW is helping her, say, "Hey, don't worry about it. You can come with me. I have a place not too far away. You can go with me. You can go stay here, stay here at this place with me. And, wait for your new passport to come in." In the meanwhile, Madison's boyfriend, Ryan, they've kind of like now broken up, like over like via like video chat. They've broken up. He's kind of telling her, what, you do this stuff all the time, now you want to stay there and all this stuff, and they just go back and forth, and of course they want to break me up. Now, things, of course, and we're getting into some spoilers, guys. We're getting into more spoilers, but things, of course, once we get to this place that they're staying at, that CW has invited her to come stay with her at. CW, you can kind of start seeing things don't really add up. Things start to seem a little funny about CW. And she invites Madison, "Hey, you know what? I had this surprise for you. Come with me. I'm going to take you to, on this surprise." And they get into this little boat, and they go off to this island. Now, this is about 20 minutes into the movie. The credits start rolling. 20 minutes into the film, we finally get like the credits that say influencer and everything like that. Well, basically, CW leaves Madison on the island, leaves her for dead on the island. Again, guys, like I said, we're going to have some spoilers. I've told you, I warned you already. We're going to have some spoilers. So you're getting Madison's story of what just happened with her. Then you're getting CW's story of what happens when she kind of like takes over the life of Madison. You have another influencer who comes into the mix. Her name is Jessica, because CW is she's stalking her prey basically. She's going after these influencers. And of course, Madison's boyfriend Ryan shows up along the way, and things start to kind of unravel a little bit for CW. Now, I gave you a little bit of the story of what happens for Madison, but we're not going to go into too much more detail with our other influencer that we're introduced to. We're not going to go into too much detail about what happens with good old Ryan. But this movie, up until the last few minutes, I'm like, come on, because it's a short film too. I think, what's I say, about 92 minutes. I think it felt like it was even less than that, a little bit less than 92 minutes. But we get to the point of the film where you think CW, something's going to happen here. What is going to happen? Things really start winding down time wise for this film, and we start seeing what's going to happen. What's going to happen with this CW character? What's going to happen with the other characters that are in this film? Is this all going to unravel for her? Is she going to get away with her grand scheme of taking, stealing the identities and lives of of these influencers? What is going to happen? What is going on with Madison on that island? And because there are some things that Madison's talking about, like her life before becoming an influencer, when she was like younger and everything. There are little hints, subtle hints here and there that she does share with CW that kind of give you an idea of like, okay, maybe what could be happening on that island with Madison. Because when she leaves Madison, Madison's not dead. She basically just leaves her for dead on the island. She has Madison like knocked out. She basically. I'm taking it. They don't really show it, but a subtle thing with CW. I believe she drugged her when they were drinking on the island. So she was out cold. She just like gets on her boat and she just leaves her on this island out in the middle of nowhere. So there's just things that go on in this film. You're getting like different little bit of story from every character in the film, which I think is pretty cool. I'm not the biggest fan of some of the music choices that they do in this film, that they use in this film. It just seems really, really generic. Some of the music that they're playing, it's like something you would find from like a reality show, like you'd find like on TV or something like that. And it kind of like I was like, oh, really? Like that's really what we're gonna do here, guys? But things do start to pick up. I would say mostly through maybe like through the first 40 minutes of the film. It takes about a good 35, 40 minutes, for me at least, good 35, 40 minutes of the film for things to finally really, okay, this is what we're doing. This is where we're going. I kind of, right from the get go, within the first 10, 15 minutes, I kind of felt like something was off with the CW character. And that's all we get. We get initials. We get CW. That's it. That's all we get from her. We get nothing else as far as her name or anything. Like if that's like initials, real name, a made up name, we don't know. But I kind of was like, okay, something just seemed off about her, right off the bat. But once we get about a good half hour or so into the film, 35, 40 minutes into the film, things really start to pick up. And that's because at first it was kind of dragging a little bit for me. But then things really, like I said, these things start, ramping up, and we start seeing people, especially CW, start to unravel a little bit in certain scenes. Her hair starts getting a little bit messier here and there, and you're like, okay, this is somebody who's like maybe starting to lose control of a situation that they felt they had full control of. And I like that. I like when you could start to see it. The makeup starts to run a little bit off the face, the hair getting all messy. You start to see that. And I love that kind of detail that you can kind of pick out and say, okay, things might not be going exactly the way that she wants them to go. But she is smart and she is very, very clever. I will say that. The actress Cassandra Node is her name, the one that's playing CW. She's really good. She's very convincing to get you to trust her, and also how you're like, oh man, you want her to just get it. Like you really want, like, oh man, like I really want her to get found out by the things that she's doing. And yeah, guys, I enjoyed this one. I did overall. I will say that I enjoyed it. I just don't feel that it's a straight up horror film. There are some things that do happen in the film, but I still wouldn't call it a straight up horror film. Especially when there's so many other films that so far I've seen being left out of these scratch offs, ones that I have not come across yet. I mean, which they could very well be in the pile. But there are some films like, come on, guys, like really, like this is. I think maybe this one doesn't quite fall into that category, but it's still a pretty solid film. Once you get through, the first act of it, I think it's definitely becomes a more cohesive film, just a better you start to understand things a little bit more as the film goes on. So, hey guys, Influencer, and if you do check it out, like I said, it is on Shudder. If you do decide you want to pick it up physically, there is a Blu-ray available through Vinegar Syndrome. So, guys, let's go ahead and get on to our next film. What's the next film on the docket, guys, for the month of October and our horror movie scratch-offs? Let's go ahead and shuffle up the deck and see what we have in the pile. All right, guys, let's go. Let's see. Our next one, 1974, rated R, 83 minutes, crime slasher. So let's see what is on the docket. Let's go right for the bottom here, just so we can see what it is. Oh, I see a face already. And I believe it's a film that I have not seen probably in over 20 years. And one that I don't remember being all that impressed with back then. So who knows? Maybe my opinion will change now. But it is Tobe Hooper's classic, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Let's go ahead and scratch this off so you can see Leatherface a little bit better. But yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like I said, it's been well over 20 years since I've seen this film. Wasn't the biggest fan of it. But who knows? Maybe it will be like a Halloween 3 situation where I'll like it better the second time around. You know, after time has passed. A significant amount of time has passed. So, yeah, we'll check it out, guys. And see, I know it is streaming because I saw it listed on Amazon Prime. So at least I know I'll be able to catch it there. Because I was going through all the Halloween movies because they have tons and tons of Halloween films on Amazon Prime to stream if you have Amazon. So yeah, I'm happy that I scratched this one off, and I'm happy that it is on there. And that I can share with you guys, and I know for sure it is definitely on Amazon Prime. So guys, like, subscribe, and comment if you get the chance, and I'll catch you in another episode. Take care.